Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, where you can awaken your mind to clarity and success even in today's life challenges. We're here to provide insights and solutions that will help you live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Hello, everybody. This is Joanne Victoria with another episode of the amazing Sanity Project podcast. You are here to discover a life of clarity, confidence, sanity, and total life success. Our guest today is Dr. Amy Novotny. Dr. Novotny founded the PABR. There we go. I'm going to delete that. Dr. Amy Novotny founded the PABR Institute with the mission to provide pain, stress, and anxiety relief to those who seek a naturalistic form of treatment. Her background in orthopedics, sports, geriatrics, balance disorders, nerve injuries, and chronic pain, and influences from coursework at Postural Restoration Institute gave her the foundation to develop this method. Amy has helped countless people reduce and eliminate pain, stress, anxiety, orthopedic surgery, sleep issues. We have to talk, and the need for medications. Her ability to speak English, French, and Spanish has allowed her to help clients from all around the world. Welcome to the show, Amy Novotny.
Thank you so much for having me on, Joanne. It's a pleasure to be here.
I am grateful that you are here. You're here because you're talking about topics that probably cover most of the universe.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they do. And people often ask me, who is your target audience? And I just say, everyone.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, yes.
I know. We live in a world that has a lot of chaos, especially now. I think especially now. And people need to keep being on their toes all the time. Watch out for what's coming next. Be careful when they cross the street, which is when most people break a leg. And, calm down. Even though we don't say those words, that's what you help people to do, is remain calm with the breathing. Mm-hmm. So do we pick one topic about it, or how do you help people? Especially, I have a friend, close friend, who she's the bone person in my area. Every bone. She's had almost every joint replaced.
Oh, no.
Sometimes twice.
Oh, no.
And I don't know, I know that I won't have that problem because I come from farm stock, so I'm hardy. Mm-hmm. And so how do you, you have shoulder replacements, broken ankles, broken hips, sometimes more than once, broken legs. That's painful.
It is. And let's go back to kind of what exactly is it that I'm doing? So we all have a nervous system in our body called your autonomic nervous system. That's not important to remember. But one component of that nervous system is that fight or flight nervous system that we all can relate to. It ramps us up. If you hear a loud bang, it will, you startle. Anything where you're put under severe pressure, you feel this change overcome your body as if you need to run, freeze, or flee. And there's even another category called fawning, which is a person who's kind of in a state of having to please everyone. So any of those types of situations, they cause a physiological change in our body, meaning we usually hear about cortisol levels going up, adrenaline going up, but there's also a change in the way our muscles behave and function. So our muscles start to guard our body, often without our awareness. And when they guard our body, that starts to pull on our bones and our joints in basically an abnormal way. Over time and over the course of our lifetime, as stressors add up, so does the abnormal muscle pull. That adds up and plays a role on our joints. And so a lot of people that I work with who are bone on bone, who have arthritis, who are scheduled for a surgery, I say, let's pause a second and let's work on your nervous system, because if we can change the way your nervous system impacts your muscles, we can then change the space in your joints and get you out of the impinging tissues, which is often the source of pain, not necessarily the arthritis. And that's how I work with people to get them out of a joint replacement surgery. Or let's say they have a back problem, a herniated disc, or pain going down their leg, or pain going down their arm, or numbness or tingling going down their arm or leg. If we can change the way the muscles are pulling on the joints and the bones, then we can change the pain and change the mobility. And so a person can get out of those surgeries.
Yeah, I have had in my life people who were insistent on disc replacement, and I'm saying there are alternatives to that. I would never go into surgery with that. I mean, it has to be really big. I mean, life-threatening. And if you don't have the surgery, you will die today, kind of thing. But people aren't willing to look for alternatives, such as yourself, or other ways of pain management.
Unfortunately, no. Part of it is we want results and we want relief immediately. Right. And I can understand there are certain circumstances where someone is in so much pain, they will do anything. And that's often what can happen that will lead to a surgery. But sometimes people don't want to change their habits, or they're not familiar with how they can change their habits, or quite frankly, they just don't believe that their habits have led to their pain, and that they can actually change them to lead them out of pain. So there's a lot of disbelief, and we don't realize that healing comes from within our body. We often say, okay, I have an issue. I'm going to turn outward and see if something can be applied to me to fix the problem. And it's a mindset shift that it can be so powerful. If you think about all the time, money, effort, resources that you save just by working to change the way that your body behaves so that you don't have to have a surgery.
Yes. I mean, I'm just presuming I'm not going to have anything close to that because would avoid surgery at all costs. I recently started, because of the last year and some issues going on in my life, I started physical therapy to strengthen my body. And you have to use your mind when somebody's telling you to do something. So that has really helped me. I am grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. But I know my body is changing from the exercises, from the movements, from my mind going, yes, I am now stronger. And God, it's available. My primary said, can't you go to the gym? I said, no. This is not a gym issue. This is a strengthening issue, inside out. And it works. And I don't have to consider any alternatives to that.
And that's absolutely wonderful. Physical therapy does great wonders for a lot of people. It is an external process that's applied to your body. So that can be very beneficial for many, many people. Sometimes people need an internal change as well. And that's how what I do is different from, let's say, physical therapy or chiropractic or massage, which are external modalities done to you.
Correct. So are you dealing with the proverbial mindset or mindset change, or what are you talking about?
So I'm talking about your fight or flight nervous system. We're working for you to calm that down, to you to change so that you go from a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state. And you can actually feel your muscles release so you don't have to stretch. You don't have to push on your muscles, scrape, roll, foam roll, whatever it is. We want to get you so that you can practice changing the way you hold yourself and the way you breathe so the muscles release. And because it's an internal change, this is why it works for stress, anxiety, sleep issues, those types of things as well.
Can you explain the parasympathetic nervous system, since most people have never heard those words together?
Absolutely. Thanks. So the nervous system, we kind of have these almost opposing forces. We have the fight or flight nervous system that I mentioned earlier that ramps us up, that gets us ready to run for our life, to freeze, whatever that is. But then you kind of have the opposite, which is rest, relaxation, digestion, sleep, all these things that we want to be in most of our waking hours and our sleeping hours, but then periodically go into fight or flight mode to accomplish something or to do something quickly, but then come out of it. So parasympathetic is where we want to be most of our waking hours, but you know as well as I do that doesn't always happen in modern world.
Right. So give the audience an example of a patient. Do you work one-on-one or in groups? I saw on your website you had some group setups.
Yeah, so sometimes I hold workshops. So like this weekend, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, hosting a workshop that will be a group setting. And I've done this in the past. So that would look at like we get together for a few hours. We start working on changing the way you hold yourself so that your daily habits do not put you in that fight or flight mode. Looking at how you sit, lie down, stand, walk. But then we also work on how to change your breathing so you can release the tension in your muscles that is pulling you into pain, stress, or anxiety. Mostly, though, I work with people one-on-one through Zoom. This whole process can be done on Zoom. We record it so you know what to practice. And I work with people all over the world.
That's amazing. Because people need, number one, they need one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And if you have the professional, such as yourself, guiding the patient, such as someone like myself, or a few thousand out there, it makes it easier. They need to see, this is what she's doing. This is what I'm doing. It goes down into the depths of your body and your mind, and it stays there. So when you do a group setting, what are you doing?
So we're guiding people through basically changing your body position. How do you hold your rib cage in relation to your pelvis? So that way you're not pinching on the fight or flight nervous system that lies along your spine. Most people don't realize when they do their Superman posture, chest out, shoulders back, suck up their gut, that they're actually activating the fight or flight nervous system, ramping themselves up and locking themselves up. So we start with that. We have to reposition your body so that you can accept a state of relaxation and then match your breathing with it. Because your breathing mechanism and pattern of breathing is dependent on the position of your rib cage. Your breathing can be really ramp you up, like Wim Hof. Some people are familiar with him. He teaches a hyperventilative breathing to help you withstand cold, ice baths, E. coli, different things like that. But what I like to do with people is let's teach your breathing so that your body responds by calming down, releasing stress, releasing tension, releasing pain.
It's not until people release the tension in their body that they know they were even holding it in.
Very often that's true. What our bodies are amazing at communicating to us that something is off. The problem is we often don't know what language the body's speaking. We don't know what that symptom is telling us. Same thing with pain. Pain is often a signal from our body to our brain that something is out of position. So that's great if you feel it. It's like now it's, okay, what do you do? How do you change your body position so tissues stop pinching together so that you can be pain-free? But it's hard.
Well, it's the focus that's required and the trust that it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
a big one. So you work with entrepreneurs. So how can you help an entrepreneur improve their performance, improve their focus on the job, so to speak?
So a couple different ways. One of them is getting them out of pain. So a lot of times pain is a distracting source in our life. So that's one way. But the other way is working on your ability to focus, hold tension, and increase energy. So if you think about your body, if it is in fight or flight mode, you're using all of your energy and resources to keep you there, to keep you on high alert. And what typically happens is after the end of the day or after the meeting or after the performance or speech, you basically crash because all of your energy has just wound up into this one project or performance, and then you have nothing left and you get drained very quickly. So instead, what if we teach you how to keep yourself calm so that your energy is not being diverted into keeping you in this high alert state, but instead goes to higher executive functions like thinking, processing, being imaginative, being creative, learning. We want our bodies to allow that to happen so that you can perform better in your business. You can work better with your employees, work better with your team, all of those types of activities instead of diverting energy towards, I have back pain, or I feel tight, or I feel stress, I can't breathe, my mind's racing, I can't calm down. Those things detract from your ability to perform.
Oh, I understand that one. So what about if someone's mind is racing because they have too many tasks on their list and they're always jumping ahead? I'm of the, 3 high quality completions per day. And if you do that, you're fine, even if it only takes up an hour, or it could take up 8 hours, whatever. But when someone's mind is disturbed because they're either distracted, trying to multitask, which is a sin, actually, it should be, but something like that they're just going and going ahead, how do they calm down their mind?
So part of it, one of the reasons why, obviously that their mind is racing because they have so much going on. So step 1 would be to write stuff down so you're not afraid you're going to forget. But then we need to match your body and your brain or your mind together so that they're in coherence. Often when your mind is racing, it's doing all these things and your body is in a situation where it is keeping you in high alert. And they go together in terms of your mind's racing because your body, you're ramped up, your chest is up, your ribs are high, your breathing is now shallow, and it's reflecting that. You may speak faster, all these things, because you don't feel safe and secure and steady in your body. So we shift you to feel the safety and security, and you feel the calm in your body. So that way you don't feel like you have to be on all the time. We have to get you out of your mind back into your body so that your mind can take a break.
So I presume you have specific exercises for people to do this.
Absolutely. And I will say it is sometimes a process because so many people are dependent on their back and overuse their back muscles, which pinches on the fight or flight nervous system to put that in overdrive. So it takes some time often to get someone to feel safe in their body again and secure in their body so they don't feel like they're always on edge.
It's amazing what we do to ourselves, isn't it? How we damage our bodies just by being alive and reacting and responding to things that are not beneficial to us.
It really is. And it's sad because I don't think anyone does it purposefully. But we're all trying to get ahead or make ends meet. And we neglect the most important thing, which is our body, because that influences all other aspects of our lives.
Do you have anything on your website that people can download for free or a nominal fee so that they can get some sense of what to do on their own?
Absolutely. So I have an email list. And for those who join the email list to get weekly little blog and videos, as soon as they sign up, they'll get a free download to kind of start going through the steps of relieving the stress and going through this process of breathing to calm them down.
Yeah, I'm guaranteeing that there are people who are listening right now who need your help. And if the best they can do for today is just to go to your website, join your mailing list, and start getting emails and exercises or whatever that they can do with themselves before they contact you for a Zoom call. Or
absolutely.
Do you travel? Okay, you're in Jacksonville, but you live in Phoenix, so you do travel with the meetings that you have, the group sessions.
I do. I'm part of a couple masterminds for, building your life and personal development marketing. And so I actually travel around the country to present at these meetings as well as host my own workshops from time to time. So often what happens is wherever I am, I usually work with people in person as well as continue with my Zoom clients.
Well, good. That's good for everybody, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, you get to do what you'd like to do. You get paid for it, and then you have extras over there.
Absolutely. And some people really enjoy working on Zoom, and there's quite a few people that I suggest only working on Zoom because their nervous system is so ramped up. They're very maybe emotionally reactive, or they're too sensitive to have someone even touch them or suggest anything. So it's better to work on Zoom. And then there's sometimes I have clients who and honestly do not want to learn anything and just want something done to them. Mm-hmm. So they will wait to see me in person.
Well, it looks like your clients are lucky that they have you in a couple of ways and in a couple of choices to work with you. So what can you leave our guests with today, our guest listeners?
Sure. So I would say if you have to do one thing, start to change, is watch yourself throughout the day and see how much you suck your gut up and in and hold your breath. If you can, periodically throughout the day, let your belly go and breathe. So as you exhale, blow out and let your belly spill out. Let your ribs drop down, belly out. It's my motto, ribs down, belly out. Most people breathe the opposite of that, and this will seem very counterintuitive. But when you breathe where you suck your gut up and in as you blow out, it's going to lock you up. If you want to change that, blow out and let your belly out.
I think I'm going to title the podcast, Ribs Down and Belly Out. I know the people are listening, but they had to go through, 20 odd minutes to get to this point, so they already know that. But I think this is going to attract some attention, but I'll think on it.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. So I am grateful to Dr. Amy Novotny for being here today, and go to her website as PABR Institute.com, PABR Institute.com. If you want to speak to her now, email her at amy@PABRINSTITUTE.com. And she has many possibilities, many possible ways for you to work with her via Zoom, via workshops, and I'm sure she'll have created some other option by the time this is published. Thanks, Amy, for being here today. I really appreciate it. I like your information, and I hope people contact you from this show.
Thank you so much, Joanne.
Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to AskJoanneVictoria.com to listen to more podcasts. Check out Joanne's coaching programs and get a free copy of her report, 5 Steps to Achieve Life-Work Harmony. That's AskJoanneVictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.